Morning guys, Speed Fight 2 in my shed. This one I happen to know a bit about. March 15, a little lad wanted to sell it, I bought it off him. I fixed it all up, got it all running, and he bought it back off me, which is quite funny. About November, he started playing with it and started his mates putting different air filters on it, and you know the stuff that I hate. I did all that, and it hasn't run since November basically. His mates then tried to fix it, different heads, different this and different that. So I had a little bike, 100cc, which I don't love, and give him some good money back for this. So wishing I hadn't of now. I've realised that, you know, the worst thing in the world is once you get kids playing with these bikes. If you get a bike that breaks down, I've said before, you know you can pinpoint what it is. When you've got someone who doesn't know what they're doing, who may watch a few videos, sometimes mine I suppose, watch them and still has no idea what he's doing, then they break more than they're fixing, which I think's happened here. Example of why, yeah, that is not supposed to be and not supposed to do. So that's a new one of them. So let's look. I think you'll find these are supposed to actually be on the engine. Yeah, so over there. Oh, you know I hate these, don't you? Well, single cylinder, yet it's got two heads. So what's this then? Here's one. Oh, engine bolt, one head. Here's another one. Another one engine bolt. So I've got two engine bolts. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, good. I've got engine bolts. I suppose my biggest worry all night when I picked this up last night, and I picked it up in the dark, don't do that, was, oh, gasket, was that I was going to find that maybe they'd snapped some head bolts. So I'm really actually quite worried that that's the case. Now, I know I say, get everything out of your way, and that's what here is. And there's my worst fear. Can you see that? Engine bolt snapped in the head. That is my absolute worst fear. So I might be able to get that out. Hopefully you can see that. I might be able to get that out. I've got a little pack up here somewhere of where you drill them back out again, you know. I'll have to have a look for that. Yeah, that's just a real shit. There's no other word for it. Air filter, I think I've got one in there, there's one there, so that's not too bad. I'll give that a clean. Tie looks okay. I don't know what he's done anything in there or not, and that wasn't like that. There. So yeah, I'm hoping you can see that in there. Yeah, okay. Let's hope you can see that. Anyway, yeah, snapped head bolt. Bugger, do you know? That means that this can be a bit of a job. You have to have all four bolts in these to get the head down properly. It is air cooled. Yeah, no, I'll try and get it out. What's happened to the front here? It most certainly wasn't like that before. Front tyre seems okay. Let's look quickly while you're on the camera. Suspension. Head's alright, the actual headstock. Spring's gone. Back's good. Back's good. Stand broke. Yeah, that's a bit of a pig. Oh well, let's start with it. It looks like it's yeah, the piston has seized in the head itself, so that may be a bit of a bugger. That's probably why they snapped it and just could have run out of oil, could have done anything. But that's why I don't tend to play. You know, if you've got a bike running, and this is what gets me, a lot of kids do this. You've got a running bike, they play with it and it's no longer running anymore, and they wonder why. Leave it alone. I mean, this would have done probably 45 miles in the first place, so I don't know what he's trying to get out of it. Anyway, let's do part 2. See you in a bit. Hi guys, right, this is a quick video today on head bolts, okay? I've just bought this little bike here. I'm doing a compilation, but it's a separate one just to say about head bolts. And these are quite simply the bolts that, as they explain, go through the head. Okay, there's your average head, and these are head bolts. Okay, they simply go through the top and obviously through there and they screw your head down. Nice and simple, onto there. This one, when I first got here, was jammed in here, okay? Which I just done on my previous video, so if you watch that you'll see I did emphasise it. Anyway, this little kit here, wow, godsend. First time I've used it. Can you see on the end of that? Da-da! Alright, let's bloody focus. Here it is. And what you do, this obviously was in here, okay? Nicely jammed right flat. That was completely and utterly flat. So what you do is you just simply get an ordinary drill a small pilot hole, and then you use this, and it's reverse screw. So as it came in, I just literally drilled a small little pilot hole, which I think you can see quite clearly in there. Wasn't that deep. Why's my... No. Rubbish. Hi guys, today we're going to be simply talking about the head and bolts. Now if you watch my other video, it's going to be in between this one, but it's a separate one, just talking about head bolts, okay? It's a nightmare. The worst thing in the world is when you put these in, they should be in the right torque settings and someone snaps a bolt. And this will happen with this one. Obviously it was my biggest fear and it became true. However, thank you, little reversing drill kit. These can get them out, which if you look on the end of the drill, just did. I'm well happy with that. And basically, while it's in the head, okay, you just simply drill a small pilot hole, and then these are reverse. So as you drill the pilot hole, not too deep, I didn't do this one too deep, okay, and literally as you drill it in, it then takes it back out. Lovely. You could WD it around if you wanted to. I didn't, I chose not to. However, it came out lovely. So I'm absolutely well ecstatic with that. That could have been a complete and utter bugger. Now I've got 4 nice little holes there. There's all crap in there. I've got to wash and clean all that out and everything else. But that has made my day, that is. So they were well worth the £4, £5 I think I paid for them, and get them out. So it's all you do is drill, you ordinary drill, put a small hole in it, pilot hole, and then they come straight out. That's brilliant. I'm really happy with that. So there you go. That's what you'll need. You'll never get them out otherwise, making bigger holes and try and use different bolts. And now head bolt should screw nicely back in there with no damage whatsoever. There you go, nicely in there. I'm gonna make sure I don't snap the damn thing. That's made my day, that is. Right, let's continue. And there you go. Short, very short video on it. But if you do get them there, small pilot hole drill. You need some of these. There's other ways. If it's longer, you might be able to like put a small slit and screw it out. I've seen someone do that before. And there's a weld. This was really easy. So I'm actually really happy. First time using this little kit. And that will go back up on the wall. Very happy. So there you go. Top tip. Don't try and drill it and put a head bolt or a screw or something. You'll never get the head down. You need to get that bolt out. That's a throw engine, isn't it? Job done. Check out my videos, guys. There'll be one continuous on this if you want to see the whole thing of what I've just bought. And I'll add to it and then hopefully get an engine running. Ta-da, guys. Alright, guys, moving on. Quickly, anyway. Can you see all metal shavings? Well, secret. Screwdriver. Simple. Magnetic one. Okay, it's a bit dirty. Just literally scoop it along and look what you get. Da-da, all of the crap on there. Wipe it off. There's nothing being brutal about it. Just make sure that you get all of these little bits out of the way on a nice magnetic screwdriver. Look at that. And there's all your metal bits. Now I've got a lot more to get out of here. Alright. But you cannot leave one little bit of that in there, because that will just, when you put the new piston in, which I think I've got, let me have a look. That's the other bits. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it was there. Nice new piston. Yeah, if you left any of them bits, they just grind up and down and just ruin your new piston. So don't do that. So I've got to make sure that's all clean. I might even get an air compression, blow them all out of there as well. Really clean. But there you go. So far, second bit. And happy days. Guys, normally I try and give you tips and little hints of how to make things easy, like the screwdriver, the drill. When it comes to this, okay, nice and simple, cleaning that out, there is no shortcut. If it takes you 20 minutes or an hour, you have to have to do it, okay? You can't leave any crap in here down the pot, okay? Can you see there's water in this one? I did expect that, okay? You cannot, do not do a shortcut and think there's a little bit of crap there, it'll be fine. Get it completely out. And there's only the hard way, as I said. Magnetic screwdriver, a bit of cloth, and just keep literally popping it in there, getting it in there, turning the, you know, cranking it over, because this is alright actually, the head's alright. Getting it in there, sorry, the head, I do mean at the big ends and the actual crank. That's all fine, you can see that moving, watch. Yeah, you can hear it, it's lovely that is. So, literally, rag, push it in there, keep turning the engine round, push it in the one side, take it out, push it in the other side, another clean rag, maybe some toweling, you know, like I know I've got an old bit of toweling there, you can get it in there. But you must make sure that is spotless inside. If you don't, it's just going to cause you problems, okay? If not minimal about the water about starting, but a tiny bit of metal, it will score, it will scratch, it will make its way around somewhere along the line, and it may end up on top of the pot, scratch, and then head, and then piston, and so on. So, that's my only tip, hard work, is clean this thing out here. And when you're scraping around, because obviously you can see bits of green, pack it all up like that, and then scratch it off. Now, alright, tip for this one, it's air cooled, so it's never going to be, if you can see there, that's got another gasket on there, a full gasket except the side bit there, so I'll put another gasket on there, or I could put some gasket seal. Being air cooled, it's a lot easier. Water cooled, then you have to take it all off, clean it thoroughly, everything else, because water will find an egress and make it in or out or do some rubbish to you. But air cooled, a lot easier. Anyway, let's get on with this. Right. Cleaned up, a little bit of gasket still there. You might see on your piston you're going to put in a tiny little arrow, okay? And that arrow, if you ever wondered, goes to the exhaust port, okay? Now, there's a little trick. Obviously you've got your two little bits you've got to get here. You've got to squeeze them. So, if I just try and squeeze them there. And a trick, if you look, is to fit it while it's on here, okay? Squeeze them in there, that will go in. And then, then remember to put this round here, alright? On your piston, fit one of the retainers, these little things here, fit one on one side already, and not the other side. And then when you fit it into like this, okay, which I can't do with one hand, but it does go in. If you squeeze these little pegs in, you'll find there's little marks there. Squeeze them in like that, okay? Squeeze them in, bloody camera. And then push them in there, okay, so now you're like this, and then when you offer up the head completely, then just pop that in there, pop it in, obviously with a small end as well, and then it will go in nicely, rather than having to do it when it's on here. The reason why I've got the cloth, obviously, is that in this little got a pin here, if you drop it, it goes in the head, then, well, world of pain. Anyway, let's carry on. Guys, can you see how much easier that is? There you go. All I've got to do now is put the little pin on I said about, but it's all ready. And then what would happen is once I, bit of lighting here for you guys actually, once I get the pin, this little bit here, once I get that in, and use a pair of long pliers for that, once I get that in here, okay, then I will be able to just simply put the head down and job done really. Anyway, let's have a look. Now guys, obviously after several failed attempts of getting that pin in and dropping it, you'll realise why I said put a bit of rag, because if it went down the head, he's just going to piss himself off. Right, when it's on there, turn the head over, look at that, up and down nicely. It's not catching anything, that's lovely. So now, it'll be a case of putting on the head and then screwing it all back down again. So, yeah, it's coming along, isn't it? This is just the engine, this is the start of it anyway. Right guys, pull it back together, put some petrol back in it, and I started it, obviously didn't video that part, and needed a lot of easy start, because remember you could see there's water in there before, so I knew I would do. So when I put petrol in the pot, so I kept it easy start, took the plug out, wiped it, there's just water on it basically. Shut up. Noisy chickens. No. Don't buy chickens that want to come in your shed all day long. Anyway, remember this? I've talked about it before. This is the actual needle. Can you see it? Can you see how bent that is? And this is what was happening. Was it's bent, and this is where someone's probably tightened up the idle screw so much it's actually bent the needle. So when I was revving, it was coming out and catching. So the thing was revving the nuts out of it, opening it and shutting it, opening and shutting it. So I changed that. I've had another one, and now shush. A bit of water in there. So, job done. So I went from this morning when you first see it to looking quite scary with the head bolt snapped. I don't think I'd have got away with 3 bolts personally, and I'm really glad I had that little tool. I did a separate video of that, so I might have watched it already and then watching this. So I'm really happy that I did that. Got it out, that is. Now it's a case of putting all the bits back together again. I've got the engine cover, I've got another seat bucket outside, take all the panels off, front suspension, lots of little bits, but I've done loads of videos on that before. So today was just about showing you the basics, you know, of another bike that I'll get. So it sounds like a blog. So yeah, anyway, there you go. Engine running. What I will do, I'll get it all back together again and I'll weigh something down the road on it, and hopefully then it will just sort itself out. But I do think that the uneven running is purely just because it's a different piston in there, it's got a seat properly, well, you know what I mean, wearing as it were. And there's obviously a lot of water, that takes a long while to warm up, it's in the exhaust, it's in everywhere. So that will take a long while, good half hour's worth of riding, and I think this is all done. Then it's just the other little bits. Right, check out my videos, there's lots on there, of all sorts of bits and bobs. And go from there. Right, take care of yourself guys, and bye bye.